Hello? Hi. Okay, this is sixth video. Basically, like I said, it was always going to be like an update and whatever as to like my personal journey. Turn that off. Um, Realistically, the last time if you saw my video, I was going through a really hard time in terms of dealing with my own emotional um, I would guess you could say it was like my own guilt, my own suffering, like really totally looking at my life from a different perspective. And it was important that I did that because if you don't look to yourself in terms of self reflection, then you don't really have a base as to what you need to do while you're going to be going through this journey. And what I mean by journey is like, of course, finding yourself in terms of your higher self, your guides, your masters, the people that are leading you. Like I would honestly say that I look at the way I look at my life is always dependent on the way that I was raised. And I don't mean raised in a sense like just parents. I mean like raised as like a unit in terms of spirit and my function here as a I guess an entity of a sort, because I mean everybody has gifts, everybody has skills, and for me I guess mine would be more on the teaching side, would be more on the helping side. I'm not great at healing. I mean, I'm not a healer. I haven't really dabbled in that, but I do know that my core um, gifts are to teach and to aid. Okay, so when I was doing my self reflections, it was very difficult for me to realize that I had been neglecting my own self teaching. A lot of us will do that. I mean, out of fear, out of doubt. And then when you come to the realization that you are not listening to your inner self, you're not listening to your inner teaching, you can go to a very ugly place in terms of like, well, at least I did, because I was kicking myself for not realizing things sooner. And, sometimes it does take the time that it takes. I was upset because I was like, wow, it took me all this time. But yet, as I was going online and I was seeing other people in their progression, I started realizing that I never clued in that that in itself is the mission, because some of us will go through so many trials and tribulations to get to our definite like light bulb moment. And some people just kind of fall into it, and some people just breeze into it because they have always trusted their gut, their heart. And I didn't, so that's why, because I was always contradicting. And that's why I do these videos, because it's I'm trying to showcase like what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, and if anything to try to be an encouragement to others who are kind of on the same wavelength. And if that's kind of the main thing I'm trying to get across. Now, if you have seen my other videos, I'm really excited about going to California. Like I said, they're not giving. I mean, when I say they, I mean like my inner guides, my inner self, let's say. But I would say that the most predominant is myself and my masters. So, like they were not really telling me exactly what I gotta do there. I know that there are people, or are there's going to be events or something that will take place, and I will be at the pivotal place at the pivotal time. Like, yes, they can kind of guide you to a degree in regular life if you haven't really got in contact, meaning like through, I guess, for me, it's more of a cerebral way of doing it. Because when I was so in doubt, and when I was so stuck in the physical sense, and I was always, saying, oh, why is this real? How is this real? Like, is this really happening to me? They would come, they, meaning my messengers or my guiders or I don't know how to explain, my masters, and would come to me in actual physical form. They would either invoke my like people around me, or they would come in human form temporarily. So what that means is that sometimes you'll get these people that just kind of come up to you and they tell you things, and you're kind of sitting there like, I was thinking about that today. I was analyzing that today. This person kind of gave me a prophetic message that kind of healed me. And if you do run into those people, you know, you start to see like, oh, somebody's paying attention to my life. Somebody's paying attention to what's going on with me. And if you start to realize that it's like your constant mind turning in your head is not just solely alone in a sense, because they used to come to me in physical form. Now that I'm more aware of how to do it, like through meditation, key thing, meditate, meditate, meditate. It'll take a long time depending on how much brain churning you do, because some people are, you know, thinking, 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 and it's just such a hard time just to center. Okay, for me, once I became like started meditating again, getting back on my path, it did take me a long time to then center myself, and then to start cerebrally, or like I guess in a sense it would be like I don't know how to explain it. What's the way of explaining it? Telepathically speaking to them. And a lot of you might be like, okay, lady, maybe you have voices in your head. And it's like, is it on bordering of schizophrenia? It's like, it's not like that. If you have voices that are telling you to do things that are negatively going to influence you, then don't listen to those voices. If you have like an inner voice, like I guess you would call your Jiminy Cricket or your conscience, it is actually your guide, or it could be yourself, your higher self, or it could be your masters, like the people who are guiding your path, like I said about being a teacher or a healer or a warrior, or they will guide you in terms of your life path. So what I mean by that is like you may be meeting people in the physical because they're trying to prove to you that they exist and that you may need that reassurance. I, on the other hand, because I'm really trying to do my best in terms of channeling, and they come to me cerebrally or telepathically. So I am definitely excited about California. I they know that I don't like that I love surprises, so I don't know exactly. I know that anything can happen in this life. I know that if I'm meant to be somewhere at some given time, like you should never search. It'll always be there, regardless of if you doubt it. It will be there, because it's the only person that's doubting is you, and therefore it's gonna happen anyways. So you might as well just stop doubting yourself, because self-doubt is the negative path that like the pylon that's going to stand in your way all the time. So realistically, I have a lot to learn. I really do, and I think that I really need to start finding others. Like that is the key thing. I know that my friends here in Toronto were like, I mean, I have several friends, like handful or more, depending on you know who like, and depending on if I were to call everybody up that I've ever met that has been linked into me. And what I mean LinkedIn is like they can sense you, like they know you, they meet you, they could be total strangers, and there's like this camaraderie from for no reason. It's because they either are on the same mission as a whole, meaning like they're trying to uplift the vibration, they're trying to get everybody on board to try to mold the world into a better and greater thing. There are others who are so far ahead in terms of like actually being in other dimensions where they can actually like shed this body, get into their energy body, and actually motivate things in different capacities. I am learning slowly how to do that. And like I said, because of my own self-doubt and my own struggles within myself, it is something that will always prohibit me. Not always, but I mean it will prohibit me until I have that click in my head, like this is what it is, and to follow through with every test that I've been given by my masters and my guides, because you're being tested all the time in terms of your ability to cope. You know, like they're not going to like bombard you with all types of like transitional things, because it does take time, because it is hard to process that this life is not what it seems to be, and that this life is only through these eyes. You always have to understand that you are the viewer of this life. No one walks your path, and that it is essential that you understand that no one walks your path, and only through, you know, realizing who you are can you then move on in terms of escaping this reality in a sense. And you know, it's great. And a lot of you are, and myself included, I used to be on this whole like, oh, what's the mission? And I've now come to a great sense of self that the mission is already in progress. You know, little steps. I didn't realize how much I was already helping and aiding people around me, and I never took conscious. I was never conscious of that. I was never saying like, oh, when I helped, you know, said person, and that may have like forwarded them in their path. I never took hint to that little, I guess, piece of inspiration to that person was actually part of my path, part of my goal, part of the whole goal in essence. And if you're looking for like a big picture, if you think you're going to be like Indiana Jones going on the crazy missions, you know, you have to start with the small steps. You have to realize that you yourself are the inspirer. You are the one that is already on your path, and you got to, you know, take everybody by the hand that you meet that is kind of on the same path. Could be a little more lost, could be a lot farther ahead. You still have to grab them by the hand and you have to move forward. And never look at yourself as only one person. Like, so my next stepping stone is that I have to start meeting online, especially other people. I kind of got in touch with some people in National Command. I am trying to put out my vibes there. I need to like find some other groups, because I mean, banding together is key. Like, everybody has different gifts, everybody has different missions, and it is going to be key that we all kind of fuse our energy together for the ultimate goal. And I just keep putting these on, hoping that people see them, hoping that people can relate, and hoping that I can, you know, learn and grow as the process is happening, as the change is happening. And that was about it. I just wanted to share that, and I'm so excited for Kelly. La la la. But yeah, overall, just if anything, just start meditating, start getting to know you, because knowing you is the first and only place you need to start. Okay,